Justin Gignac. I'm an artist, entrepreneur, and a recovering advertising art director. You guys know where I'm coming from. Piers, thank you very much for having me. It was very flattering. Honored to be here. Let's see. Uh-oh. Hold on. My notes aren't on the screen. I don't know how to fix that. Does anybody have my notes? You guys don't have them? Sorry, they should reflect. So we're gonna go. So I need to breathe, slow. All right, does anybody know how to fix this? If not, I'm just gonna wing the hell out of this, but I wrote it this morning, so this should be pretty fresh. Anyway, I really like animated GIFs, so I got a lot of those in here. Jesus, hilarious. So I'm just going to clear things up right now. I'm not a model of productivity at all. I am a procrastinator. I play way too many video games, watch way too much TV. Yeah, video games. I wait till the last minute to do everything, obviously, and but I managed to get things done. So it's kind of here to talk about the things I actually pull off. I really don't have my notes. All right, well then. So we're just gonna let these distract you while I babble. So anyway, I like ideas. I love ideas. I'm addicted to ideas. See, notes. Anyway, I'm motivated by idea envy. I get super insanely jealous of great ideas that I see of others. I get jealous of that moment where I know they had it and they knew they had that idea, and I want that and I want to feel that. So I set out to try to emulate that and compete with that and find that in myself, to come up with ideas that are interesting or engaging and that people connect with. Also, I do it just to kind of come up with ideas to impress my wife. It's kind of a big motivator. So anyway, I started in advertising. This made my first job at Ogilvy. My ex-wife in the back. So I started at Ogilvy. I also had stints at Fallon, New York, and a small shop called Toy. And we had the pleasure of having a great client in Office Max. And they came to us, and they gave us an interesting challenge. They said, all right, get people to consider shopping for holiday gifts at Office Max, an office supply store. And we don't really have a budget. So we had to change people's thinking without much to work with. So we realized, obviously, television commercial probably isn't going to reach enough people. So we should maybe do something a little differently. So we came up with the idea to do 20 individual holiday websites to engage with bored office workers at their desks. We managed to pull all of these off with 8 interactive companies over the course of 3 months. It was kind of insane. This is one of my favorites. RoastedTurkey.com. You guys have all been there, huh? So you got the roasted turkey in real time. You put it in, we told you it's a 10-pound turkey. You hit the button and you cook it in real time. And if you hit the instructions, it just brought you to Google on how to roast a turkey. And then another one that did pretty well is ElfYourself. Yeah, nice. So anyway, you upload your face to a dancing elf. And then you could also call in and record your voice, and it would make you sound like an elf. So I've got a little clip here for those of you who don't know it. Yeah, so you did that. And we didn't really have any expectation of the kind of elf fetish that America had that we apparently tapped into. Because in the 5 weeks that these sites were up, there was over 40 million visitors. And 36 million of them were from ElfYourself alone. In the second year that ElfYourself was live, it was live for 6 weeks, and it got 193 million visitors, which is kind of insane. So back to ideas. So I was in advertising, and I got to make some fun stuff, which was good, but I really wanted to make more ideas. In advertising, we spend a lot of time talking about them, focus grouping them, overanalyzing them, and then killing them. which is a fun process, but I decided I wanted to make more of them. So the only way I could figure to do that was to quit my job and make ideas for myself, which was a good decision. Oh, so this is my ode to PowerPoint. I have my neon sign animating in like a PowerPoint slide. So I'm an idea hoarder. I have like sketchbooks full of ideas and Post-it notes all over the walls, and I wasn't really doing much with them, and now I'm trying to get them out the door a little more. So I have a criteria of things I try to have all of my ideas pass through to see if they're actually worth doing. So 1, they have to be smart. 2, they have to be simple. If you can't get the idea across in a sentence, it's probably too complicated. The old cliche of the 30-second elevator pitch is about 20 seconds too long, especially now with the internet and sound bites. If I can't get it across in a sentence, how do I expect anybody else to? And we rely solely on word of mouth, especially when you're doing projects for yourself. I quit advertising, but I didn't abandon it. All of the stuff I learned is actually more important now because I don't have a media budget or ad buys. So I need my ideas to sell themselves. So this is all very important. So like one simple idea, blindfolded gift wrapping. I could have just said that and you could have pictured that. But we did this at Partners in Spade, my wife Christine and I, a couple years ago. And we kind of turned out pretty well. And people could pay whatever they wanted. All the money went to charity. And it was a lot of fun being blindfolded for 4 hours. But if you want to do it as a fundraiser, feel free. It's a fun way to raise some money around the holidays. Also, I want my ideas to be surprising. If they're not going to get somebody to stop and take notice, what's the point of doing them? So I want people to be surprised and have a delight when they see my work. And dramatic ellipses. The most important question that we don't ask ourselves often enough. Will anyone give a shit? Nobody asked that. You see advertising, hardly ever, maybe 5% of the time people actually ask that question, and then all the rest of the time they don't. And then we see everything else that's out there in the world. Last year, $1.27 trillion was wasted by not asking this question. No, I don't know. I just made that up. You can't quantify that, but you guys really seemed into the trillion, so I was just going with it. So anyway, I asked myself this because, if I'm going to go and put something out there, and my friends and family who are my big supporters, if they're not even willing to share it on Facebook and Twitter, then the idea is dead. It's like those are the people that you needed, because if they're not willing to do it, our bloggers, our news stations, is anybody else going to care about it? So that's kind of my first litmus test: is if my friends and family are into it, cool, I'll keep running with it. If not, then cut it off. So one of my first personal projects started when I was a junior at School of Visual Arts. New York City Garbage. I had a summer internship at MTV, and one day we were talking about the importance of package design, and someone said package design didn't matter. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. So I thought if I could package something that absolutely nobody would ever want to buy and can get somebody to buy it, then I knew my design was successful. So I stared down at the Times Square and, garbage. Obviously nobody wants it, they threw it there. If I could package garbage and get somebody to buy it, I could prove that point. So I did. And I've set up shop all around the city on this little cardboard box. I made about 20 initially, and the first day they didn't sell at all. I was charging $10 for them, then I charged $5 plus a free portrait, and I did whatever I could to get people to buy one, and nobody did until the end of the night when an old man from Ecuador came by. And he didn't speak any English, but somehow he got it, and he bought the first one. So that gave me some confidence. So what I do is I go out, and I'm super squeamish. I have a really strong gag reflex. So I don't know why I'm doing this. But I wear thick gloves and a big construction garbage bag, and I go around at night and I pick up a bunch of trash. But I only pick up dry garbage. And I don't go through garbage cans at all because there's people who, it's their territory. You don't want to cut in on it. So I bring it all back to my apartment, and I start with a centerpiece, and then I arrange other elements around it and try to make it visually appealing. And I put a label on it that says Garbage of New York City, 100% authentic, hand-picked from the fertile streets of New York, New York. I seal the top shut so it won't leak or smell. I put a sticker on the date the garbage was picked. and then I sign and number each one. Initially, they were $10, which was fine, but then I couldn't really keep up with the demand. I was in college, I was really busy. So I ended up raising the price to $25. Here, it's also, I like garbage because it's kind of a part of our city. It's part of the landscape, it feels like a family member, a friend, if you will. But also each piece of trash has a story behind it. Whatever you threw out today had a story behind it. Maybe, that beer can, you were drinking in an alley. I don't know where that came from. Or, I find parking tickets. Most of the time when I find them, they're ripped in half. So the story behind it, and it played a role in our lives, and it tells, kind of captures a moment in time. So, so I raised the price to $25 to curb sales, but they kept selling. So then, that's a little kid's shoe. That's kind of cute, and a Q-tip. So I was working advertising at the time, so to curb sales yet again, I raised the price, and I raised it to $50, and they kept selling. And a funny thing happened. When I was selling it for $10, people thought of it as like a crappy kind of gag gift. And $25, people thought they were a nice New York souvenir, and then $50, people started considering them art. So it's kind of amazing how you can play with people's perception of value just by changing the price, which is kind of what most luxury brands do. And of course, if regular garbage is $50, limited edition is $100. And I did New Year's Eve in Times Square. This is from the Yankees victory parade down on Broadway. It's a roll of toilet paper someone threw out a window. It was clean, I think. I did a very limited edition from Obama's inauguration in DC. So I've been doing this almost this summer will be 10 years. And I've sold over 1,300 cubes to people in over 30 countries. And I've tried to keep a catalog of all of them, and I'm asking people to send me pictures so I can update my map. Here's a couple of pictures that people sent in. This is in front of the Duomo in Milan, and it's got an open Trojan wrapper. So it's kind of nice. The garbage collectors that are buying this have an artistic side too, and that's in the Italian countryside, which is kind of beautiful. So. I like playing with people's perception of value. I like combining highbrow and lowbrow and getting that tension. I think it helps people take notice. So one of the other projects my wife and I started was Wants for Sale, where we paint things that we want and then sell the painting for the price of the real item so we can go out and buy it. Seems kind of obvious. I don't know. We're being very straightforward with what we're going to do with the money. So. We really love buffalo wings. So we painted buffalo wings. This is the first one we ever did. Painted buffalo wings and sold it for $12.70 because that's how much it is with tax at the Figaro Cafe on Bleecker Street. Or first generation iPhone. So it's the exact price. So it was $649.17 with tax, but then they changed the price. So then it was $432.42 with tax. And someone bought it. So our first batch, we did about 13 paintings. This was one of them. We got some buyers. All right, I like it. Come see me after. So financial security, $1 million. This was one of them. We always try to have a range. So we always have a free one in there, and then we have, maybe a crazy one. But we have that range, so it kind of spans everything. And it's a little something for everyone. So we put those 13 paintings up. We made a website really simply, and we just sent it to about 20 or 30 friends through email and iChat just to say, hey, what do you think of this? Within a couple days, blogs had picked up on it somehow. And within a week and a half, we had over 50,000 visitors and sold out the first batch, except for the million. And the nice thing is the consumer is essential to the art. Like, we can go and paint it, and then it's half done. But then once they go and buy the painting, that's when the artwork is complete, because we can go out and buy the thing that we wanted. So, and in garbage is the same thing. That project's only half done, and the transaction is almost the biggest part of the art. It getting someone to buy it. So this is a slice of pepperoni, $3. Roomba asked us if we trade, so we're totally open to trade, so we did. Range Rover. We live in New York, so we don't have a lot of room for stuff, so we started doing more experiences. So drinks on us, $500, and we took all of our friends out for drinks. We also did a trip to Vegas, so we did the flights, hotel room. We did luck. Whoever got on the site first got this for free. All-you-can-eat buffet to see showgirls. Censored. Lots of gambling money. And of course, we realized that one thing we really wanted was to help others. So we started another site, Needs for Sale, that is based off the same concept, except all the paintings are for charity. So Habitat for Humanity says $100 buys a kitchen sink. So we painted a kitchen sink, sold it for $100, and gave them the money. So we did this for Toys for Tots and Heifer International, and there's a bunch of other paintings and prints on there too. So one thing we learned between doing garbage and paintings is that the internet is magic. You can do anything. Like, yesterday was Thursday, today it is Friday. So anything's possible on the internet, including really terrible shit. But that gives me hope that great shit can do even better. So the internet gets rid of all your excuses. You can make a website super easily. You put it up on Tumblr. You got Kickstarter helping you fund things. You can do rapid prototyping for $10 on new products. It enables everything, and it helps you get your word out there. So the internet really kind of makes it all possible. One of those projects that I was able to get up really quickly using Tumblr was, chat roulette. We all remember that. That was like last year. So I did nudes of chat roulette. I figured if people are willing to pose naked, I might as well put it to some good use. So, and on chat roulette, there's really only two types of people on there. You're either a wiener or you're a wiener hunter. And they come together. So for 2 days, I was a wiener hunter. And it's not easy, because being a guy, nobody wants to stay with you. So they click off. So I was like a sharpshooter on the screen grabs. So these were all drawn in charcoal, actual screen size. So this one is Rear Without Hair. That's the title. This one is Pair of Melons. This one is Still Life of Plums. I'll give you a second. You can figure that out. This one is Large Man, Small Twig. The one guy not laughing, it's him. So another thing I learned through doing all this, don't be an asshole. I think people need to be reminded of that, because there's a lot of assholes in this business. And it doesn't really help you. You learn after a while that you can't do everything alone. And you're going to need people's help, and it's only going to take you, you're only going to be able to go with it as far as your relationships that you've cultivated. So I think this is really important. One project where this kind of paid off is I did this thing where I wanted to make a piece of jewelry, but I didn't know how to do it. So I emailed a friend, and within 5 minutes, he went and sent me an email of a jeweler that would probably help me out with it. And it was an idea I was sitting on for 6 months. And then I was just like, screw it, I'll just make a sketch and I'll send it to him. And then it happened within a matter of like a half hour of me doing that. So it's just a matter of taking some initiative, making it happen, and tapping into the people that you know. So security is a 18-karat gold-plated sterling silver security tag, like the ones you put on so you don't steal the clothes. Well, this one is a nicer version with diamonds on the front and back. And you can wear it on your jacket, scarf, a hat, what have you, wherever you want. So I did this right in time for the holidays. But while I was doing this, I had another idea. And it kind of plays into this, I've seen this around, and this kind of taps into my thinking a lot. Ready, fire, aim. I realize I got to stop thinking and just start doing. Just making it happen makes all the difference. You don't have time to think about failure. You don't have time to, overanalyze it, which happens a lot in advertising. You just kind of go with your instincts. And granted, if your instincts are shit, you're screwed either way. So, just kind of go with it and see what happens, And then if you need to make adjustments after, you just get it out there. So one project that I did, I was playing around with QR codes. We're kind of familiar after this whole day. And most of them just link to shitty websites, which is not ideal. And I thought there could be something more interesting happening. And I loved the coldness of this black and white code, but the possibilities on the other end of it. So I thought it'd be fun to make the least festive holiday wrapping paper ever. So just black and white codes all over a sheet of wrapping paper, but then each one links to a different stupid, ridiculous holiday video. So then it became the most festive, most interactive holiday wrapping paper ever. So this idea I came up with while I was doing the security pin. It was a month, it was like the end of October, so I had about a month before the holiday season, and I wanted to make 50 videos. So this is one of those things where I was like, well, if I came with it 4 months before, I probably would have thought my way out of it. But this, I was like, well, I got to hurry up and do this. So not being an asshole helped because I got a bunch of friends to help me out. We shot over 50 videos. We did stop motion animation, live action, and then we got it up in time for Thanksgiving and ended up selling them. So here's one of my favorites. I've seen that like 100 times and it's still funny to me every time. I'm not very mature, as you can tell. Jesus. So anyway, so yeah, when you're always in the process of making, it makes it easier to just go and do. Seth Godin said, always be shipping. And that's a good mentality to always know that you're working toward just putting work out there. So you can't wait for perfection. If I waited for perfection, I never would have made the NYC Garbage site because I didn't know how to make a website. So instead, I did a crappy site and it's just a background JPEG with image maps on it. And it still is 10 years later because I don't really know what I'm doing, but I just put it out there and it still works. So you can always wait for the perfect moment, the perfect this, the perfect that. But you really just got to start doing. And it makes all the difference. Making excuses takes the same time as making progress. So yeah, I think we all just need to get out there and start making more. If you're not having fun with what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And the more people that are doing things that they love, the better it is for all of us and more stuff for me to get jealous of. So thank you guys.